Okay, so I'm here with John David Jackson. I'm Roxy Romeo, and you're an experienced fighter, obviously in itself.
Yes.
But you are also Kovalev's trainer,
Yes, I am. Yes,
and
I
he
am.
is the big deal tonight or tomorrow night.
Yes, yes, he is.
So how did that connection happen?
That connection actually was kind of a funky connection. I got
Okay.
a call one day from his manager, Agus Clamus. He said, "John, I'm sending you a fighter." I said, "Okay, and that's it?" He said, "Yeah, he's driving from California to Florida, and he got there like in 2 days, so he must have been tearing the roads up." So he comes to my gym. Now you have to remember, Sergey speaks very little English, and I
Okay.
speak no Russian. So our meeting was kind of rough, but boxing had its own language.
Right.
And so I was able to show him things just by mimicking and showing him jabs, uppercuts. And somehow we just began to understand each other. And as he began to learn English, because Russian is hard to learn, I tried it for like a week and said, "I'm through. I'm through."
You need to learn English. That's it.
He said, "You're in America. Learn this." And he started learning. So once he started learning, we just began to gel together. And it's become a great thing because we understand each other after 5 years.
So you've been together 5 years.
Yes.
And how has it been?
Some days good, some days bad. Sergey's
Yeah.
a different kind of guy. I'll just say he's different. I mean, all fighters are moody, but Sergey, he likes to be his own person. And sometimes when I'm trying to teach him things in boxing in the ring, he likes to do it his way. So what I said is, listen, let me implement what I do with what you do. I'm not gonna jam it down your throat. I'm just gonna somehow incorporate it into what you do, and that works for him because it allows him to be himself and be creative in the ring. And that's when you have a fighter that can be creative. That's a wonderful thing because it makes your job a little bit easier.
Well, he is pound for pound the fourth rated fighter right now. Is that right?
Probably.
Okay, so I've also heard that people have said that he is one-dimensional
Okay.
as a fighter.
Okay.
Don't kill the messenger. But I mean, how do you feel about that?
I like that people sell him short and they underestimate his ability because he can box. He's not only is he a puncher. 5 years ago, Virgil Hunter, Ward's trainer, I had this conversation because at that time, no one knew of Sergey Kovalev. And he said, "John, you think your fighter can beat my fighter?" I said, "I know my fighter can beat your fighter." I felt that way back then.
Yeah.
So 5 years, let's jump 5 years later, when Ward has been inactive he's only had 3 fights in 5 years. That's going to hurt him.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Sergey's been very active. He's fought the best in his division that will fight him. And if I believe my fighter, I think that my prediction will come true on Saturday. Sergey will knock him out. And not because of one punch, but he's going to break Andre down systematically.
Do you think that because Kovalev is underrated,
Yes.
is Ward going to take that? What's the word I'm thinking of?
Underestimating him lightly?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I think Andre is a very intelligent boxer,
Okay.
and he understands the game, and his ring IQ is great. I think it's going to make him be more aware of
More on his
Sergey.
toes.
And so, I don't. And once he gets hit, he's going to say, "My God, John was right. This guy can punch." But I think he's ready for that. I think he's ready because he knows what's at stake. And here's the thing about boxing: when you hear every day someone says, "This guy can punch," "This guy can punch," mentally, this guy can punch, and you're aware of that. You're kind of leery of that. So I think Ward, being a defensive fighter, will be leery.
So what does Kovalev need to do in order to make sure that he wins?
He needs to cut the ring off. You asked some great questions, by the way.
Thank you. And you know what? Can I tell you that I just started learning about boxing like 6 months ago? Well, hi.
Curtis Stevens.
Very nice to meet you.
So Sergey needs to cut the ring off. He needs to make Andre engage. If Andre engages in war, then he leaves himself vulnerable and open for shots. And since he's so well schooled in the art of boxing, you have to take him out of his comfort zone. If Andre gets ahead 3 or 4 rounds, now you're behind the 8 ball. And what I mean by that is now you have to play catch up. And that's what he wants you to do. He wants to throw you off your game. So Sergey has to systematically break Andre down. Punch him in his arms, punch him in his on the side, punch him in his chest. I say this and it sounds kind of sick, but I said, listen, hit him in his heart, make it skip a beat. Hey, this is war. We're not.
Yeah.
So do what you have to do. If you do that for the first 4 or 5 rounds, now Andre is going to start to slow down.
I have to ask this because I didn't know that Ward only had a few fights within the last few years.
Yes.
So why this matchup? Why this? Why did the promoters feel like this would have been good?
Well, it's a fight that the fans wanted to see. It's two of the best today, and Andre he's one of the better fighters out there. But on the flip side of that, because he's only had 3 fights in the last 5 years, that's going to hurt him. Because his style requires that he be active.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for him, it's not that he chose to stay on the sidelines, but contract disputes with his promoter, and things of that nature. It hurts, which plays in our favor though. So I'm not too mad at him at all. But his style dictates he needs to be busy.
Yeah.
And he had a shoulder injury, so a lot of things there are factors that played into it, which works to our advantage. I love that. But come fight night, he's a warrior, and he's tried, true, and tested. He's going to give it his all, and hopefully his all is a little bit shorter than what we wanted to be.
Right.
And then Sergey clips him with a good shot and gets him out of there. But I think Ward's going to bring his best game that he has. I just think personally, I think he's reached his peak. And even though Sergey is the same age, a boxer usually reaches his peak sooner and the legs go quicker. Since Sergey's the pursuer, that won't show on him, but it will show on Ward.
One of the things that I thought that I just think is crazy with me like learning about boxing is how young these like boys get into boxing and become professional.
Yes.
How old were you when you became professional?
Oh, when I was 21. I was
young.
7 when I started boxing.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. I mean, boxing has been your entire life,
Yes, it has.
and you don't regret a minute of it.
46 has been my 46 years of my 53 years on this earth have been in boxing.
Wow, that is so crazy. So, Kovalev is the light heavyweight?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and have you guys discussed, have you thought about possibly shifting him to another class? Or are you perfectly happy with him being that?
I think he wants to clean up the 175-pound division because he has 3 of the 4 belts. Well, there's a gentleman out there named Adonis Stevenson who owns the WBC light heavyweight title. So Sergey wants all the belts. he wants to be greedy. He wants to unify the whole thing.
He's an overachiever.
So, and him and Stevenson have been talked about for years. It would be a great fight. But it better happen soon or it's going to go the way of Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao 5 years too late.
Right.
So after, we're not trying to look past this fight, but should he be victorious, he wants Stevenson because he wants all the belts. And then there's still 2 guys out there that can fight that are dangerous, but I think at that point he has to decide if he wants to stay light heavyweight or move to cruiserweight or maybe even heavyweight.
How difficult is it to switch between weight classes?
It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be too difficult for most fighters because, as you get older, your body's still getting bigger. It's not going the right places, but we all get bigger. So, if the point comes that he needs to move up, then move up to cruiserweight. It's just the next weight up. Don't jump 2 weights.
Right.
Because sometimes you're not as strong as guys, especially heavyweight divisions. Guys can weigh whatever they want to weigh, 250, 280, 300. That's hard for a guy who's like maybe 190 to keep that person off of you. You burn up a lot of energy just trying to keep that person off of you. So I think if he decides to move up, the next weight would be cruiserweight.
Okay. And, like I said, me learning boxing, I realized the boxers love to eat. They love to eat, especially after a fight.
Yes.
So what is like Kovalev's go-to food? What does he love, and what do you have to like fight to keep him away from?
Yeah. Well, for me, once I'm away from the gym, I don't babysit.
Right.
These guys, listen, whatever you want to do, if you want to jack yourself up and get 20, 30 pounds overweight, guess what? Then you got to pay the consequences when it comes time for training camp.
Yeah.
I don't. I might give a guy some advice every now and then, but I pretty much leave that alone because the first thing a fighter's going to tell you is I know my body. Okay. So when you're 20, 40 pounds overweight, don't come crying to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it at that point. Like you said, but most fighters they want to indulge after the fight in all kind of foods that they couldn't eat during training camp. They have to be smart with doing that. And Sergey, sometimes he's smart, and he falls into that same trap as other fighters. He indulges in everything after the fight, just whatever the foods, the rich foods. And listen, when you come back to camp, don't cry to me.
Yeah.
When you're 20, 30 pounds overweight. And hopefully, after this fight, he has 2 bigger fights waiting for him. He'll keep the weight down. Because if he doesn't, it tells on your body after a while because the fluctuation is bad for you, up and down, going from 175 to 200 pounds. You're killing your body trying to get that weight off all the time. As you get older, it's hard to take that weight off. Hard.
I believe it. I believe it. So I mean, I feel like I'm gonna ask you this question, and I
Okay.
already know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
But how far do you think Kovalev can go? I mean, I'm sure I know the answer.
As far as he wants to go, as long as he keeps the hunger, the desire, and the determination to go further, he can go a long way because he has the power. He has God-given power. I mean, when you look at Sergey, this guy is nothing. But when he hits you, it changes your whole perception. Trust me. And good kid, he can go as far as he wants to go. And from everything that I've seen and that I know of him, his determination and his will to be the best, that's what drives him. He loves the attention, the adulation he gets from the fans. He loves this.
Yeah.
So I don't think he wants to give it up anytime soon. Once you lose, you're no longer champion. All that stuff starts to leave you because everybody wants to be the person on top. And boxing is a strange sport, and the fans are funny. So for as long as he can enjoy this, I say enjoy it and stay on top for as long as you can because once it's gone, it's gone.
So here's a off the wall question.
Okay.
So how old is he?
33.
33. Is he married?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So see, this doesn't totally pertain.
Oh.
Because some of the younger boxers that I have interviewed,
Yes.
their fathers are always like, trying to get them to stay away from these girls is the
Yeah.
biggest problem.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
just like, but then some of them are so focused. So I'm like, is it really that difficult?
Yeah. You said the key word, focus.
Yeah.
I use myself when I was fighting. I was so focused. I wouldn't go. I would date, but I wouldn't date. It wasn't like I wouldn't go out to parties and I'd tell my girlfriends, no, I'm not doing that. I said, this is my, and I was an amateur. I wasn't getting paid for it. This is my career.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I wanted to do. And when I turned pro, I was worse because I wouldn't go out. Listen, boxing was my life. And I would tell the girl, I said, listen, this is what's going to make my money for me. You're not going to make my money. I don't want you to make it for me. I need this for myself. So I would do all the things I need to do to prepare myself. When I turned pro, that was my job now.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
So you have to be focused and dedicated to what you love if you want it to work for you, because if you don't, it's not going to pay the dividends that you want.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I was able to do it. And I tell all fighters, I can still walk and talk.
Yeah.
And I'm semi-handsome, so I'm okay. I'm semi-handsome, so I'm okay with it. But the most important thing for me is that when I talk to someone, they can understand me, and I'm not slurring my words. I don't have a lot of scar tissue on my face.
Yeah,
I just
that
you have
is
to be
something you
true.
gotta worry about,
Be
yeah.
true to the sport. It'll be true to you. Now you might get cut. Those things happen, but you don't want to. When you're done boxing, you don't want to walk around and not be audible. People are saying, "What did he just say?" You're stuttering and slurring your words.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to be dedicated, and definitely, if you're going to do this sport, give it your all.
Yeah, I have to say I really have a lot of respect for boxers because, like you started at 7 years old. That's crazy. I was playing with Barbies. I wasn't thinking about what I wanted to do at 7.
And got beat up the first time I sparred. The first time I boxed, this guy beat the crap out of me, and I loved it. I went home and told my dad that I was boxing today.
Yeah. I mean that's insane to me. I mean it's amazing that at that young age you know what you want to do.
Yes.
But I have a lot of respect for boxers. I mean you have to be dedicated, and it is seriously like a lifelong decision.
Yes.
So thank you.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.